Hello and welcome to another 5:30 a.m. concept ship review. This time we're going to be talking about the RSI Perseus. So let me just roll the intro and let's talk about it.
Hello, my name is Grumpy.
The RSI Perseus gunship was announced back in 2020 as a sub-capital ship destroyer. It is designed for military purposes and as such it doesn't have much to offer in terms of multifunctionality. The Perseus is currently in concept phase of development, which means that we really can't say when the ship is going to be released. The only thing that we can say is that it won't be released anytime soon. But before we dive deeper into what exactly this ship has to offer, let's go over its specifications first. It has a medium radar, 2 medium computers, 2 large coolers, 2 large shields, 2 large fuel tanks, and 2 large power plants. It has a single large jump drive and a large quantum drive, and of course a large quantum fuel tank. It does not have any pilot-controlled weapons, but what it does have is 20 size 5 torpedoes and 4 turrets, 2 of which will be manned and they will have 2 size 7 guns on them each, and 2 of which will be remote-controlled turrets with 2 size 3 guns on them. Additionally, it has a rover bay that doubles as a cargo bay, just like the Hammerhead, and if you're not carrying a rover, you will be able to store up to 50 SUs of cargo. Now let's take a look at the interior of the ship. There are 2 entrances to the ship, the main cargo elevator being one, and there is also a dedicated personnel entrance located on the bottom of the ship to the rear behind the cargo elevator. Since it is a military ship by design, it will have the crew quarters separate from the captain's quarters. The crew quarters will accommodate up to 5 crew members, providing them with storage lockers and a bathroom. In between the crew quarters and the captain's quarters is the mess hall, where the crew will spend most of its time while not in combat. You can access the bridge and the cargo bay directly from the mess hall, and as I've stated before, the cargo bay will carry up to 50 SUs of cargo, and just like the Hammerhead, instead of cargo you will be able to carry an Ursa rover-sized ground vehicle. The torpedo bay is located at the nose of the ship, and you will be able to access the top dual-size 7-man turret in the same area where the torpedo bay is located. The bridge is located on the top of the ship, and it gives you a great visibility over the nose and what your man turrets are seeing. Talking about the turrets, those size 7 guns both on the top and the bottom man turret are in fact the same size 7 guns which we can find on the Ion or on the Inferno, for example. So basically you have the firepower of 4 Ares Infernos or 4 Ares Ions, and on top of that you will have 2 more remote turrets for point defense or for dealing with those little pesky light fighters. The Perseus will come stock with ballistic Catlings, but you will be able to swap those for energy weapons, since you really don't want to run out of ammo on the main guns with their ship. But if you get swarmed with light and medium fighters, you will not really be able to defend yourself for a longer duration of time, because this ship is not designed with that purpose in mind. The RSI Perseus is supposed to be used against the similar-sized ships or ships that are larger than the Perseus itself, so sub-capital to capital-sized ships. Now, if you want a multi-crew ship that will be able to easily kill fighters, you should take a look at the Aegis Hammerhead, which is currently available to buy in the game. But the sheer firepower of those 4 size 7 weapons that Perseus has to offer will be sufficient enough to melt basically anything that it can hit. If it goes toe-to-toe with the Hammerhead, it will be able to decimate it in a matter of seconds. The same goes for the smaller capital ships such as the Misk Odyssey or the 890 Jump, and the lesser defended capital ships such as the Drake Kraken or the RSI Orion. Of course, if you manage to land a hit on a light or a medium fighter, it will get deleted from existence with a single shot. But that is rarely gonna happen because those big guns have a slower projectile velocity, and it will be very hard to hit small and nimble targets. Speaking of defense against light fighters, it also does not have any missiles, and those torpedoes are supposed to be used to keep the pressure on the capital and sub-capital ships that you encounter, or to disable the medium-sized ships that get close to you. So think of them as a good defense option against anything larger that gets close to you, such as a Drake Corsair or the RSI Constellation series, or as an additional source of firepower when going against capital-sized ships. Now let's talk about the best uses for the RSI Perseus. Being a military ship, it does not have that many uses for anything else except causing mayhem on the battlefield. Having a rover bay is useful for doing ground operations, while the Perseus provides some air cover, although I would love to see at least 24 jump seats next to the rover bay for easy delivery of troops to the battlefield, because then I could say that this ship is practical enough and multifunctional enough to justify the price tag of $675. Because, to be honest, I believe that 3 Corsairs or 4 Ares Ions with some light fighter escort will be able to do much more than just a singular Perseus. But I might be wrong. But if CAG gave this ship a bunch of jump seats, and if it could be used as a dropship and then as a close air support ship, then it will be the perfect ship to storm the enemy bases with, or to do some PvP events such as Jumptown. Because currently, I don't really see it as a viable option for anything else than for it to fill a role of a support ship in large-scale org v org battles. Some people say that it will be great for bounty hunting, but they keep on forgetting that we are about to get the second version of bounty hunting, which will pay more if you capture the target and then hold him captive in the brig or the cryopods and then deliver him to the prison. But since the ship doesn't have any of that, I don't see it as the perfect ship for that either. And since it doesn't have a tier 2 medical bed inside, it's not that good for ground operations either. You really don't want to get hit or die outside the Perseus because your only spawn will be the station or a planet where you set your spawn at. But I must say that I do see it as a really good ship for piracy, for example. One could say that 50 SUs of cargo will not be enough for piracy, but I beg to differ. Firstly, it will be sufficient enough to store the most valuable cargo on board or to store the components of ships that you have destroyed. Also, once CAG reworks or fixes ship-to-ship combat, and once ships stop exploding when they hit 0 HP, or once we're able to disable enemy ships, I see this ship as a really good support ship for disabling, boarding, and pirating cargo ships. But then again, I would be very happy to see a bunch of jump seats for it to be a bit more multifunctional for orc play, as it would be a great troop carry and close air support ship. But as it is right now, I'm not really sure that it has to offer anything more than just being a scary support ship that can't do anything else but kill sub-capital and capital ships. And since it has to have 6 people crewing it for it to utilize its maximum potential, I believe that it will be much better to crew 6 heavy fighters, because in that way you will be able to hit the target from 6 different angles. And it's just easier to survive when you're a smaller target yourself. So in the end, should you buy this ship? I'm not sure. Like, yes, if you have disposable income, if you want to support CAG making Star Citizen and another game before Star Citizen, because yeah, they're making Squadron 42 with the money that we give them for Star Citizen or the ships in Star Citizen. So yes, if you want to do that, but also no, because firstly, you can buy it in the game once it gets released. It's gonna be available in the game, and secondly, it is just a one-trick pony, and it's gonna be a really good support ship for like large-scale org battles, but that's it. Like, it doesn't have anything more to offer. It looks nice, it really does. It also has the perfect gun to like ship size ratio, because like most of the ships that we have in the game are just like big, and then they have basically no guns, like the Kari. It has like 4 size 3s, but it's really big, or the Freelancer Max, it's bigger and it still has the same like armament. But yeah, it's a nice looking ship, but you really do not need it. If you want to spend your money, just go for the Polaris. It has a brig, it has a shit ton of torpedoes. Just go watch my video on the Polaris, because that is actually an awesome ship. So in the end, yeah, I don't think that you should buy it. I'm probably gonna get it just to review it, and then I'm gonna CC you up to something once this ship gets like closer to release. But again, since it's still in the concept phase, we really don't know when it's gonna be released, so it's not gonna be released anytime soon. So thank you for watching, and thank you to all my patrons for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's gonna be a link down in the description of the video. It's a little Patreon link, and like, if you have disposable income and if you want me to have the ship to review it for you, yeah, just like go there. And yeah, so again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space, and bye.